So let's start. Please welcome our second speaker.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm really glad you guys made it today. It's like Saturday morning. It's like probably not the best time for the conference, but thank you all for coming. So from the previous talk, you might seen this like purple stamps on the slides with saying like linted, automated. So we will go and deep dive into the topic a little bit here. Yeah. But before, like, few words about myself. So, my name is Vladimir, and I'm Android developer in Xena. Sometimes I do backend stuff, but probably not. I'm not the best one because we're hiring. We need like another one, rockstar backend developer. So, if you know someone, please let us know. So previously, I was working at Yandex and Talabat. And what this talk will be about? Uh, First of all, what is linter? We will go into the definition of it. So what's this all about? The other one is why you might need to extend its standard behavior. So here I will talk mostly about my experience at Xena, about my journey. So it's like a true story. Stay tuned. Yeah, then we will go into details and how we can do that. Also, to make you guys like be more passionate about it, we will have like a little quiz and we will draw 2 Xena shirts. Yeah, this should be fun. And yeah, conclusion and questions. So let's start. So what is a linter? So this is actually a Wikipedia definition. So it's basically a piece of software that helps your code base to keep your code base clean and even detect bugs on the early stage before even compiling your code. Sounds good to me, right? So, I have a question for you. How many of you guys have already adopted any static analysis tools in your code base? Like, please raise your hands. Whoa, you guys good. And how many of you have already tried to extend this behavior, like write custom rules and everything, some kind of this? Oh man, okay. That's gonna be like tough. Probably you will knew something, different, but yeah. Let's get in. So now will talk about a little bit about my Xena journey. Once I joined Xena, so Xena has like a little bit different code style. It's totally aligned with the Kotlin official code style, but from the very beginning, when you're trying to, to adopt the code style in your to be this code style on top of your fingers, you usually get this. So I had like 20 plus comments on my first pull request. This one is from Andrew, like put the new line, remove the new line, like, and this kind of stuff. So, and as Anton mentioned, it really requires some effort to write like that, to write the code like that. And moreover, it takes more effort from the reviewer to to check the style guide and everything. So this seems like to be a good candidate for automation. But there could be another reasons why you might need like to write a custom rule, like to extend the custom rule of your to extend the standard behavior of your linter, of your static analysis tool. So the first one is obvious, yeah, company specific code style. This like what is actually our Xena case. The second one is kind of very interesting. It's like a prohibited code usage. For example, you have your own logger, right? And you want to prohibit the other developers to use it. So this is a good candidate to be automated with the linter. Also, another good case for the prohibited code usage could be like Jetpack Compose modifier. You have your own. It's like you have created a new one, and you want to prohibit your standard, for example, clicker. So, on click modifier, which is also could be valid. Yeah, and the third one is the naming convention check. So, for example, imagine you have your property that is a type of flow or like any other type or like observable, and you want your variable to be named like something observable or something flow. So this is also a good option for linter to work on. Okay, so once we decided that we probably need some static analysis tools and we probably need to create some custom rules there, So what I did in Xena? So I just went through and Googled what we can adopt. So what's the tools what they have on the market? So the first one is the most obvious one is the Android lint. So this is the thing that's already embedded into Android Studio. This is the tool that actually marks up your code already there. So it probably could be the good option to extend. Another pros for the Android lint, it can be configured for both languages. It's not the case for Xena because we are 100% Kotlin, but it might be the case. This can be used for Java and Kotlin source codes like simultaneously. So you don't need to write like if you're writing your custom rule, you don't need to do it like both for Java and Kotlin. It could be done only once because it's using universal abstract syntax tree. It's like kind of a weird term, but we will jump into the details a little bit later and talk about it. Yeah, my major con for not writing the custom rules for the Android lint was that the lint API for the custom rules is not final. You saw it like with a bold in their GitHub source in the GitHub repository. So yeah, it was like for me, okay, probably I should think twice before it. My second candidate was like KT-lint as a linter from the Pinterest. What they declare and what I really like about it, it's like very, very easy to use. So it's just like a jar file that you then load and you feed it like with the source code, and that's it. It's done. It's like it's already shows you the warnings and everything. What else I liked about it? It's not only the linter, it's also a formatter. So if the KT-lint can format your code and can fix the errors, it will. Yeah, another good sign for me, it was like it was used by another tools like Dictat, Spotless, so everything. My only con here was that the KT-lint is published only as a jar file, right? It's like, on one hand, it's a good plus, so it's just like very simple. On the other one, you need to think about how you want to include it in your project, how you want to use it. Like either write a Gradle task, either like do it on CI, any script. So you have to figure out your own. But there are lots of like third-party tools and third-party like Gradle plugins that you may use. Right? And the third one is detect. Yeah, it's a kind of powerful tool which has like a very huge amount of config options, and moreover, it's not only checks the code style, it also goes through your code base and tries to find potential bugs. It has like potential bugs rule set, which is very amazing. Yeah, and I saw companies using it both altogether. It's like I see guys from Talabat, Detect and KT-lint. You guys have it both, as far as I know. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and now I'm jumping into the iOS turf. It's not my main thing, but yeah, there is like a Swift lint for the iOS guys, which is the biggest part of it. It has like lots of configuration. It's very customizable. It even has like its special YAML declaration for the GitHub hooks. So you don't need to create your GitHub hooks to run the checks, and it's already embedded in the Xcode. So this is like a quick review that was on my plate. So before making like custom rules. So and yeah, now let's jump in and let's make our own custom rule. So what we want to automate. So that's what I told before. Before we start, a little bit like grasp of theory. So most of the linters use like a visitor pattern to let you extend their behavior. What is a visitor pattern? So it's a object-oriented paradigm that allows you to iterate or to go through the data structure without modifying it and without knowing the order. So basically your custom rule is being called every time you visit the data structure, the abstract syntax tree node that you might need to scan. Yeah, so it's like a nice picture of it. So it's like the visitor is like will be a rule. Data structure is abstract syntax tree of the source code, and the client. Client is basically a linter. So to make it more visible, so this is how it looks. So the client knows everything about like the elements of the abstract syntax tree. visitor is your custom rule, and you've been called once you visit the element. So quite easy. So probably as you have guys guessed, I'm going through the kt-lint example. So because I will go through it once again. Xena is Kotlin only, and the kt-lint is like very, very easy to use. Yeah, it has like very easy configuration, and it's used by other tools, which can be like a good sign. So yeah, kt-lint was my choice, but you might have your own. Yeah. So, and what problem we're trying to solve here? So we want to enforce using custom logger. So we have like our own logger written by Anton. Thanks, Anton. And we have we want to prohibit using like standard Android util.log. So we don't want this, and we want that. Clear? Yeah. Cool. Moving on. So how the custom rule will look like. So what we have here. So first of all, we are extending like kt-lint abstract class, which is called rule, and it gives like us an abstract method that we have to implement, which is called visit. This is referring to the visitor pattern. So what we have then what we have. We have like an AST node. AST node is like abstract syntax tree node. What's that? It's basically an element of your source code that is being so abstract syntax tree node. What is like abstract syntax tree? So it's a tree in which your source code is mapped to, right? So I will not go here into details, but yeah, you can Google it. So let's go through. So with this node, we can check the type. So we check if this type, if it's not in import directive. So we already know that it's not an import. We go next, and we don't emit any errors. If it is an import directive, we check the node property called PSI. It's basically it's a program which stands for program structure interface, which is basically code-specific properties of the node. So we know that it's an import, and we parse like PSI property into the into import directive, which has like its own like extended properties as like import path. So we check the path if it's like Android util log, we throw an error. So sorry, we throw an error. And now we're coming to the quiz. So there might be a case when this rule will not work. So it will not throw any errors, but the developer will be able to use standard Android util log. That's like, go ahead.
In the case where it is not directly imported and just used directly in the code, like Android util log dot something dot I dot call the method.
That was fast. Yeah, I guess this like shirt is going to the.
Da-da-da-da.
Yeah, basically we're not checking against like the fully qualified names. So if it's not in the import, yeah, you still can use like the Android util log. But I don't see like any reason why you should do that. So in the code base, so we just omit it. So moreover, So now we're jumping to the how we can test it. So there is a very nice extension function in the kt-lint. You can just create your rule, call lint, feed it with the valid Kotlin source code, and check if it has the error or not. So we have like an import as the first line. So yeah, and we check if the test is passing or not. So very, very easy to test. Okay, and now I think we're coming to the second example. It's like from the iOS turf. So this is the example of the custom rule of the Swift lint, which is like a little bit weird for me because they don't use any like visitor patterns or something. So they just use the regexp. I have no clue why they did that, but the question is, What does this swiftly custom rule checks for? uh, any regex pros here? No. Okay, so there is a button. Yeah, this is obviously a text, and there is like another text over there. So, what it might be? Any guesses?
Some text, some block tag, and it's in braces. What?
No. Do you know Andrew? Okay, I don't know how to give a hint. It's like, it's like, yes.
Like you cannot set text to a button from the log message.
Not really. Not really. Okay. No, no guesses. Okay, like what log tag? Yes. No. Hmm?
So before,
No, not contain, but close.
I mean, before the log tag, we cannot accept any parentheses of any sort of like curly braces.
Uh, Getting closer, but no.
Okay.
Yes. No other guesses. Ah. Okay, I will reveal the.
You can take the T-shirt by yourself.
I have one. I have one already. We will. I mean, we'll have like questions and sections. So you will. I will give it like to someone who has like the best question. Okay, so here, what it checks for is like it checks for that the button requires a log tag. So we actually log every click on the button. So and what we want to do is to make developers do that without like any effort. So your pull request probably will fail, or like you will get the warning or the commit pre-hook warning, so you will not be able to commit. Yeah. So now we're jumping to, so now we have like our everything set up. So we have like our linter, we have like our custom rules. So probably we're good to go, but how we can run them? So I would say I can find like two major options what we can do here. Like the first one is the pre-commit hook. So every time you commit, your Git runs a script which obviously runs your linter and makes the checks. But these checks should be really fast because no one wants to wait on the commit. I mean, it's like people don't like waiting. So so it should run on the diff files. So it should run only on the change files and check if their code style is still there. And the second one is CI pipeline. So this one may take longer time because like it's not you who are waiting. I mean, who are waiting for, just like it's your like pull request checks, and it may run on the full code base, so it may check for the full code base. So the main question is why it should be, why do you need to run it? I think it's a good to have because code base sometimes may change. Sometimes errors may happen, and sometimes rules may hit. Like we have a rule that you need to upgrade the version of the library if there is like if there is a newer version, newer stable version. So this is really good to have on the pipeline. Yeah. So what about the conclusion? So linters are really good stuff. So it helps you to keep your code base clean. You can even adopt the custom company codestyle rules really fast. And you may pay attention to the like more important things like writing the code, writing the logic itself. And yeah, writing the custom rule is not that hard. So just give it a try. Probably there should be like any cases in your code base or in your project that you might want to automate. Yeah, and if you ask me which tool to use, I don't know. We adopted KTLint, but there's so many in the market. Lots of paid solutions, like probably like Sonar, like whatever. It's like name it. There are lots of them. So yeah. Oh, that's it. Yeah. Questions?
You already have a t-shirt. You want another one?
So I have two questions. The first one is about IDE integration. Because like Android Lint, it is kind of native to the Android and Android Studio and has some integrations and live highlights of the issues. Does KT-Lint have something like that? Okay. And the second one is Android Lint, though it is a little bit heavyweight, but it has many cool features. For example, you can supply custom lint rules with your library. You're creating a library and want to restrict some behavior for this library, and you can supply lint rules with your library. Just some gets the dependency, and they get the lint rules with it. Does KT-Lint support something like that?
No, KT-Lint is quite a little bit lightweight, and it doesn't have that many features. But yeah, it's always like pros and cons. So for the first of all, answering your first question, no, KT-Lint doesn't have any like IDE support here. So but the thing is, like, it runs really fast. So it can be adopted like as a TS-Lint or ES-Lint, like if you're coming from the JS world. So basically, when you save your file, it can go run your file and give you like warning or like or format the code because it's already formatted. Yeah, and for creating the custom rule for your library, for the usage of the library, that might be like tricky. But here you also go with the dependency, right? So you probably have to. It wasn't on the slide, but for the lint, you have to use the same lint version as the Android Gradle plugin. So you're highly dependent on the Android Gradle plugin update. So you might need to change your code base. Your code base and your rules, which is, I don't know. So but it's really sophisticated and has like some really cool features. So, but we went with the KT-Lint because it's easier and we probably don't need the custom rules for the libraries. Yeah. So
Okay, get it. Thanks.
On my way.
I know I mentioned that you are Kotlin only company, but maybe you know some Flutter or Dart related tools that do the same and can be extended the same way, because we are, leaning towards that direction.
To be honest, like I expected you guys hearing you. I thought you knew that. I mean, to be honest, like I expected this question, but I haven't seen any like Dart.
We know some, but I don't know about extending them, to be honest.
Unfortunately, no. It's like we don't use like Flutter here. It's like
custom Dart. There is a custom Dart lint package or something similar to this. Maybe it can do the job.
No. I'm sorry, Fox. Like I don't know. I thought you told me that. It's like I was expecting that.
Next time we did our homework. Sorry.
That would be great.
My question is quite different. Like there are other tools, for example, Danger, where you can also set some custom rules and you can run and check them with the pull request. So my question is that what kind of rules, what do you think, what kind of custom rules, what we need to check at compile time or in the pre-commit hooks, and what kind of rules, what would you add on the CI with the pull request by using Danger?
I don't know. To be honest, like I would say it should be like the same amount of the tools running on both, but there could be like different tools for for the static analysis. So, for example, some of the tools also check the bytecode for potential bugs or for potential security vulnerabilities. So there is no other way you can. It's better to run this on CI, right? So it compiles the code, you get the bytecode, and get you the like potential bugs and potential security vulnerabilities. But if you talk about like static analysis, which does not require any compilation, so I would say it should be like exact the same amount of the rules running on the pre-commit hook or like on the CI pipeline.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Any other questions? You raise a hand? No?
Wrap up. Yeah, thank you guys. I
Seems
guess
like
we
we're
can-
over.
Oh, sorry. It's like the T-shirt I think goes to like Telebat crew. Thanks.